I'm going to press record. Okay, so welcome everybody to today's session on non-attachment meditation. And with us to guide us through it is none other than Ket, who's the co-founder of Cordy Ket in Hinity Healing and Unity Qigong, together with his wife Cordelia. His specialty is our proprietary light meditation, Unity Qigong, and the Infinity program where they train healers. He has been meditating since 2003 and teaching meditation since 2010, notably light meditation. And he does teach also non-attachment meditation and custom designed meditations. And his practices are non-religious, and they can be tailored to suit individuals and groups according to their needs. So hopefully we'll be diving into some of that today. He teaches about the stages of meditation in his workshops and his meditation retreats. And he hopes to share his understanding and experience so that more people will be able to regularly practice this life-changing relaxation called meditation. And I will be pasting some links in the chat. We are on the Thursday, but this event is going on until the Sunday. And you can still invite people to join in. We have a few great talks to come up. And also, if you register, you will be receiving the replays in your email. And you can always email support@Embodiment Unlimited. Do share this. We're putting this out because we're very passionate about getting people more embodied and getting people meditating, because that helps with embodiment. So do share it with a friend who you think would benefit from it. If every one of you shares it with one more person, just think what a difference we could make, because then that person could influence their loved ones and families and be more loving and more calm in their lives through these techniques. So do commit to sharing it with one person. Think of it right now, how you're going to contact them. Are you going to WhatsApp them or call them or send them an email? And share these links widely to spread this. And of course, you know, we do have a course at the end of this, so we are putting out the free content. But if some of you want to dive deeper, you are very welcome to get onto the course of Embodied Meditation, and there is 2 tracks for that. You can either use the first track to get deeper into your personal practice. It is a live course, so you will be meeting live with the teachers, you will be having support in your peer groups, or you can get certified to teach embodied meditation. But I'll talk more about that at the end of this. This will go for a full hour. So Kat has too many good things to share to keep it short. And without further ado, I will hand over to Kat. If you have any problems during the call, do private message me. Otherwise, enjoy. Kat, we're so happy to have you with us.
All right, welcome everyone. All right, if you didn't catch my name, I'm Ket, K-E-T, right? It's a short form of my name. So let me share with you all what this meditation is about. All right, this is a embodied version of what I teach online regularly for free, which we call non-attachment meditation. So for the Embodied Meditation Week, right, I'm sharing with you all Embodied Non-attachment meditation. And who is it good for? So this is especially good for people who have developed or who have aches and pains that maybe conventional seem to help. And usually the causes of this is due to psychosomatic reasons. And non-attachment can help us with that. But firstly, I think the question on everyone's mind is, what is non-attachment? And no doubt some of you would have heard of it. So let me share with you the philosophy first, because the way I teach is, I'm not just going to dive down into the meditation. We're going to talk about the philosophy, because understanding the philosophy enables us to do the meditation correctly. And a lot of people get the philosophy wrong, and when they do that, things just don't work out the way it's supposed to be. So non-attachment, what is it? Now, no doubt some of you are experienced and you would have heard of this term, and you think it is one and the same with another term. Yes, so I'm not sure how many of you who have heard of these two terms and you think that they are interchangeable. I'm here to share with you my take on it and my explanation why they are not the same. Now, essentially, non-attachment is made popular or famous, I dare say, by Buddhism or by the Buddha. Those of you who have read his story will know that basically he summarized the problem of life into one word, all right, into one word. And it is called the problem, all right? Attachment. In fact, the Buddha used the term suffering. All right, suffering is the translation of the Pali language term which he spoke. And in Pali language, it's called dukkha. Right? Dukkha is loosely translated as suffering. So basically, the Buddha, he went on a life quest, right? Life mission to try and find what is the solution to suffering. And when he did, the first thing he identified was the cause of suffering. And he identified it as attachment. So we need to have some basic understanding about this before we can even go on into non-attachment. So basically the Buddha said that attachment is the cause of suffering. And what exactly is attachment? So loosely put, it's normally said in one type is called cravings. So craving means we want something, right? I crave for something, means I want something, I want it bad. So when we want something, very much we are so attached to it, and if we don't get it, we suffer. We get upset, we get unhappy. So cravings or having a very strong want is a cause of suffering. Now there is another type of suffering, of attachment, which is aversion. Aversion means we don't want something, or maybe we hate something. Right? We really don't want something, we want to avoid it, and we are totally averse to it. But when it happens to us, that's something which we are averse to, it causes us to suffer and to be unhappy. A good example will be illness, right? And accidents, for example. So cravings is when we want something, and it's very easy to tell that craving is a form of attachment. But a lot of people don't get that aversions are because we hold on to the things that we identify as what we don't like. Like we hold on to it so much that when we get it, it causes us suffering. So basically, the Buddha said that, look, if we don't want to suffer, right, we need to learn how to be non-attached. Now, I'm not sure what exactly the term that is used in Pali, but in English, right, what he's trying to refer to was translated into two terms. First term that you encounter when you're reading Buddhism books or even Hinduism, is a quite a common philosophy, is detachment. The other term that you might have encountered is non-attachment. And they are not the same. So in English, let's analyze the words, right? So let's talk about the root word. In non-attachment, right, the actual root word is non-attached. In detachment, the actual root word is to detach. So if you just look at the root words, you get that it's different. Non-attachment means not being attached to something, the state of being of not attached. In detachment, the detach is to separate. Yes, detach is to separate. Non-attached means don't stick, right? Don't get attached. They are not one and the same. So if you think the whole idea is detachment, which is to separate, you end up with a different result than practicing what is the right way, which is non-attachment, which is don't stick. Now, how to see this difference in real life? Let me give you an example. This is an example I normally give in my non-attachment classes. So let's take a look at breakups, right? I shall assume everyone here has been in a relationship and most people have broken up before, right? Now, in general, there are two types of breakups, right? The first type is detachment type of breakup, and the second type is non-attachment kind of breakup. Now, what do I mean? Now, most people, when they break up, right, the detachment way of breaking up is like, in the modern world now, is I'm going to unfriend you, or I'm going to block you on social media. Yes. And if you're giving me gifts, I'm going to chuck it all in the dustbin, or I'm going to burn them, I'm going to smash them or something, or I'm going to return them to you. And I will delete your contact and I will never ever have anything to do with you ever again. Right? I'm not sure how many of you are like that. That is what I call the detachment type of breakup. Now, observe what the person goes through when they go through this type of breakup. Observe and think carefully. What is their state of mind and heart? Heart, as in emotion, right? What is their state like? Can we summarize? In general, it's negative. The heart is closed, it's hurt, it's angry, fuming, maybe anger, hatred, right? It's all very negative. Now, on the other hand, I'm not sure whether some of you are like that or you know some friends who are like that, whereby they can break up and yet the next week you see the person with his or her ex and they are having a cup of tea or coffee or alcohol together, or a meal together. And for those of us who just know one type of breakups, which is a detachment type, we kind of wonder what's up, right? Are they back together again? But no, they're not. They're no longer an item. They don't stay together anymore. They don't live together anymore. But they still hang out together, right? They kind of like, yeah, we can be friends, right? Even though we are no longer an item. Now, in this type of breakups, which I call the non-attachment kind of breakup, what is the state of their heart like? Usually not so negative, right? Am I not right? Usually not so negative. But yeah, there will be some pain, some hurt, but they will really like to do this in a positive manner, right? I think someone came up with Gwyneth Paltrow came up with the term conscious uncoupling, right? And want to do it positively, right? So that is something that I think everyone can relate to. The thing I want everyone to pay attention is the state of the mind and heart. Now, a better analogy, I would say a better analogy is this. Non-stick pan. Can I assume everyone knows what a non-stick pan is? All right, if you don't know, I think you can Google. But basically, a non-stick pan is very simple. It's just a pan whereby nothing sticks on it when you cook. All right. So I shall assume everyone have cooked a little, or you've seen your parents or somebody cook, and you've seen a non-stick pan. So, what exactly does a non-stick pan go through when it's cooking? Now bear in mind this, compare a non-stick pan to a normal pan. When you use a normal pan to cook, those of you who cook, you know you need to put more oil so that food doesn't stick onto the pan. And you know certain types of food just love to stick on conventional pans, like eggs, for example. They love to stick on the pan, right? If you happen to cook fish, especially fish with the skin loves to get seared to the pan. Or any kind of meat, it loves to stick to the pan. Now, on a non-stick pan, on the other hand, nothing sticks. Nothing is supposed to stick, right? That is supposed to be the power of Teflon, the coating or whatever kind of coating they have right now. So you have the non-stick pan and you have the normal pan. Now both of them, think how they relate to a normal person, right? Compare them to a normal person. Both the pans go through the fire, they go through oil, they go through food, they go through sauces and all kinds of things. It's like a person going through life, ups and downs, heat, cold, whatever, all kinds of food, you know, it gets dirty and everything. But at the end of cooking, right, for the non-stick pan, you can just pour everything onto the plate, serve it, just scrape everything off, and you know, it's good to go. You can just give it a clean wipe, nothing sticks on the pan, and it's very easy to wash. You don't have to do much washing. I just put some detergent for a little bit of all the sticks onto it, you know, that's but you can actually wash it off. So the key is this: as a person, if we are like the non-stick pan, we need to go through life and at the end of it remain unchanged. You get me? The non-stick pan goes through all the fire, oil and food, but remains unchanged. But look at us, look at most of us. We go through life and we are usually like the conventional pan because all the experiences we had in the past, or most of the experience in the past, will leave its mark on us. Sometimes we even get traumatized by certain events. Often we are baggaged by incidences that happened in the past, so which is past cooking sticking onto the pan. And if you really think about it, a lot of our troubles come due to this stuff which stick on from previous incidents, just like food from previous cooking sticking onto the pan, right, on the conventional pan and causing problems for future cooking. Now, how many of you ever experienced something like this? Let me give you an example. It's my example, okay, my private example. So I have a mother. Yes, we all have mothers, and my mom is very naggy. Okay, I'm not sure whether you know how many of you have moms who are very naggy. Now, my mom is pretty naggy. All right, she has a lot of things to do, and you know she has 4 children, and she needs to get everyone to do things and so on. And so she's been naggy, and I don't like to be nagged. I bet everyone doesn't like to be nagged, and I've been nagged for years and decades. So I'm Asian, I'm ethnic Chinese, I stay in Malaysia. So us Asians, we are a little bit different from Westerners probably. So we normally stay with our parents, our family until we get married. All right, we don't move out when we're 18 or 21. We don't do that. We stay with our parents until until we're married. So I stayed with my parents for a long time, and my mom is very naggy, and her habit is she nags from morning to night. You know, there's always something for her to nag at, and I get very upset with the nagging at times. Now there have been times whereby there could have been incidents whereby she, you know, she did something nice in the morning. Maybe she bought or prepared a very nice breakfast for me, and she wanted to tell me that she has done so, and I lost my temper and shouted at her because I was assuming that she was going to nag at me. How many of you had experienced something like that? Right? I don't know. So this is habitual. It's like my mom's nagging me every day, and That's one morning she did something nice, but I assumed she was going to nag at me, and before she finishes her sentence, I shouted at her because I assumed she was going to nag at me, right? And of course, I felt very ashamed. Now, I analyzed that situation. Why did I shout at her? I shouted at her because I assumed that she was going to nag at me. And I assumed she was going to nag at me because of my attachment to her, to all the prior naggings that she has ever given me in my 20, 30 years of life back then. Yeah, I moved out of my parents' house when I'm in my 30s, right? So, I could clearly identify with what the Buddha was saying, that because of my attachment, I caused more suffering to myself and also to the people around me. Now think about it in your own relationships, in our own relationships with other people. Now, when family and close ones, our loved ones who know us better, when they say certain things, right, it pushes our hot buttons, right? Everyone knows what are your hot buttons, your trigger buttons, right? You know what it is. You know, some issue which you know is like off limits to certain people, and if people mention it, that you are just going to blow or you're just going to lose it, right? And it normally happens with our family and loved ones. But usually, if the same thing, the same hot button is pressed by an acquaintance or by a newly made friend, you won't lose it. You won't lose your top, you won't lose your temper, and you won't react so much. Yes? Why is that so? Again, it's due to attachment. It's our attachment of our past with a certain person. The history, our history with a certain person is all the baggage, which is like a conventional pan stuck with all the food that he has ever cooked in all the years and all the decades, and is spoiling every meal thereafter. But if we are like the non-stick pan, every meal is fresh, we are unaffected. Right? Now, that is what we are trying to achieve in non-attachment. But detachment is very different. Detachment is the philosophy whereby we want to cut and sever ourselves away from society, from the people who hurt us. Now, I don't know how many of you ever give or, give this serious consideration to leave your family, your loved ones, or society, right? Now, I'm a Buddhist, right? My family religion is Buddhist. Now I'm beyond Buddhism. So when I went on my spiritual path, the first thing I did was I searched it within Buddhism because that was my background, right? And I often thought that, so I did that when I was having depression, by the way. So one of the things I thought about is, of course, a lot of people in Buddhism, and in fact in many religions, will think of becoming a monk or a nun, right? And sever themselves away from society and from the people who cause them pain and suffering. Because, especially in Buddhism, because in a lot of books and certain places or websites, you read about the term detachment, and you think that's the way to go. That's right. I want to detach myself away and no more problems. And may I ask, how many of you, if you're into Buddhism or Hinduism, some kind of religion whereby there is this type of monastic practice, that you have thought about this? Or you just want to end it all, right? You want to end your life, right? Because I went through depression, so I know what it's like. Just want to sever it, detachment, right? So that is not really the path to go. And how many of you think that the monastic path, monk or nun, means that you're not supposed to have emotions? How many of you think that you're not supposed to have emotions? This is a common misconception on the path of non-attachment. Because of the term detachment, People think you should be detached from emotions. Yes, you should be detached from emotions. That means you should separate yourself, detach yourself from emotions. Means no emotions. And I was very confused. So I I was expecting monks not to have emotions, to be stoic all the time. No expression, just, But that is not true. If you explore more into Buddhism and you see those people who have the right cultivation, you can see that they smile. They can even get angry, right? Not supposed to be so angry, but they can have some anger, right? They can be sad, they can smile, and they talk about heartache, right? And they're like totally human. So what's up with that? So this is the clear distinction I want everyone to make, right? In non-attachment, you can have emotions. You are supposed to have emotions. Because you're supposed to be like the non-stick pan, you go through life, you go through heat, cold, all the sources, whatever. That means you experience life in its full glory, in its total yuckiness, right? And you can be happy and sad and cry and everything, but at the end of the day, you remain just the non-stick pan, unaffected, unchanged. This is the right path that Buddha is talking about. It is not detachment, whereby we close our heart, we close our mind, and we shut ourselves off from people and the world, and it's all negative and despair. No, it is not. All right. So some of you are giving some comments. I think I don't have the time to go through now. Okay, I hope my sharing will be able to help you all. One thing I like to mention is I have a young child, a 4-year-old toddler son. All right, and I always tell people that he is my non-attachment teacher, especially ever since he was born. All right, look to young children and kids, toddlers especially, or even infants. They are like the non-stick pan. Really, what do I mean by that? You can have a child. The child can be upset with you over something you've done. Maybe you scold the child or whatever, right? Or you didn't give him or her some sweets, whatever, and they cry and they get upset with you, right? But you will notice that their mood can change very fast. You can distract them with a toy, with an activity, and they forget about the prior experience of unhappiness. And they're not going to come up to you, daddy, mommy, uncle, auntie, and say, yesterday you took my sweet away from me and I hate you and I'm not going to be your friend. Kids don't go to that stage until much later. You get what I mean? Young kids, toddlers, infants, they can cry one moment, but the next day can be happy, and they don't bear grudges. They don't remember. They don't say, I forgive, but I shall not forget. They say, they don't speak, but they forgive and they forget because nothing sticks onto them. Right? If you're the kind of person who say, I forgive, but I don't forget, that means something is sticking on to you. And I dare say that's not true forgiveness. All right? So I hope you'll get this philosophy, because we're going to try and embody this philosophy in our lives beyond the meditation. All right? Beyond the meditation. So I'm going to share with you how to do the meditation, bearing in mind this philosophy. So this whole philosophy is about non-stick. All right? Now, the other problem that we have is most of us are like the conventional pan, and for us to be like the non-stick pan, before we can even get to become the non-stick pan, we need to do this. Yes? Do you all get what I mean? Most of us start out like the conventional pan. We are like a pan with a lot of foodstuffs stuck there since decades and years of cooking. And we need to scrape all that away, right? And learn and put a coating onto the pan so that we can be like the non-stick pan. And I also say this for those of you who are very into meditation, spirituality, the non-stick pan also means this. Present means being in the present, being in the now, living in the moment, right? With no baggages from the past and not being worried about the future, nothing from the past, we are like the non-stick pan. So if you really think about it, for those of you who are into spirituality, with all this meditation stuff, right? Being non-attached is the same thing as being present, right? Those of you who are into all this meditation stuff, you will heard of being meditation means being present. If you are being present, means you are not affected by the past, you're not affected by the future, you are like the non-stick pan, you are actually being non-attached. It's all one and the same. All right. So this will give perspective to not just non-attachment meditation or non-attachment philosophy, to even your normal meditation practice. Okay. So I will be sharing with you all how to do this non-attachment meditation. It's not the same as the non-attachment meditation that I normally teach. I teach once a month, free online class of a non-attachment meditation. But just for Embodied Meditation Week, I'm going to present the embodied version. All right. In embodied version, most people will be like the conventional pan, but a lot of stuff are stuck onto us. All right. What do I mean by that? I refer to psychosomatic issues, right? So a lot of our emotions and embodiment, we also talk a lot about this. Trauma stays in the body keeps score, yes, right? All these are forms of attachment that are in our body. Emotions, of course, memories. They exist in a certain subtle level in our bodies, and it can cause psychosomatic problems. So psychosomatic is kind of linked to the mind and actually emotions too. So what we need to do is we need to learn to let go. And in non-attachment meditation, the way we sit is important. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on the wide angle lens. I'm going to show you how to sit properly. Right. We're going to start from the basics. My son has been playing with my wide angle lens. That's why it's some adjustment. Okay, let me adjust the camera. Now, I'm trying to show you, so I'm seated on a chair. All right, so normally when people do meditation, you can either sit on a chair or you sit cross-legged on the floor. Us Asians, we like to sit cross-legged on the floor. Obviously, it's more comfortable if you're seated on a chair. I'm seated on a chair because of the blackboard, the whiteboard. Okay, now, one of the most important things in non-attachment meditation is your hands. All right, this may be sensitive because different people have their own beliefs, but I'm going to explain to you why. Now, for non-attachment meditation, for meditations where you need to let go, and even in all general meditations, the better position for your hands is with your palms facing upwards. And if you can, you put it on top of your thighs or your knees. So normally I'm seated cross-legged. Now, just some advice, if you're seated cross-legged on the floor, you should have a cushion for your bum, for your butt, so that your butt is raised higher than your feet. If your butt is raised higher than your feet, you won't feel the tension on your thighs. It's just about getting comfortable. All right. So don't worry about staying still and all that. What is important is your hands should face up and like this, preferably over your thighs. Ladies, don't mind if right, you kind of like spreading your legs, but you should feel more comfortable. And now the key point is this: if your palms are down, subconsciously, it's very difficult for you to fully relax and let go. All right. I understand some people put their palms down and they feel more relaxed. It is a fake relaxation. I actually go into this for my online meditation retreats and everything. I don't have the time to go into the more explanation, but take my word for it. You can try it yourself. If you have always meditated with your palms down, try it with your palms up. It will take you further into meditative states that you've never been to, and it's easier to relax. The next thing that we want to do for meditation is we want to try to keep our spine upright and yet relaxed. Okay, so the way we do it is it's very simple. Imagine that your head is suspended from the ceiling. Imagine there's a string, all goes all the way to the ceiling. So it's kind of pulling you up, all right? So it's kind of pulling me up, and your spine is straight. Once your spine is straight, what I want you to do is, right, so your hands are here. What I want you to do is you exhale and you relax from top to bottom. Follow your breath. You relax from top to bottom. All right? So just exhale and you feel a wave of relaxation go down. So some people call this scanning. You can think of it as scanning, or just think of it as exhale and relax. I like to call it exhale and relax. And you might feel some tension somewhere along your body. It could be your neck, your shoulders. Just keep on focusing. Exhale and relax downwards. Now, before you close your eyes, just take a look at me. Now, I want you to do this. When you relax, everything is flowing downwards, including all the stress and tension. And there are two pathways. The first pathway is down your hands, your arms, your hands, your fingers, and then up. So it's going to go up of the fingers. This wave of relaxation. All right. And the second pathway is as you're relaxing downwards, there's a wave of relaxation that goes down your body, to your legs, to the ground. All right. So you can carry on doing that. Just close your eyes, relax, and take slow, deep breaths. As you exhale, let all the stress and tension flow down and up. Down and out your hands and fingers. Down and up your body, your legs to the ground. Relax and take slow, deep breath. As you breathe out, let all the negative energies, negative sensations, aches and pains flow down and up. down and out your hands and fingers, down and up your body, your leg to the ground. Relax and take slow, deep breath. Bring your awareness to your lungs and chest. As you inhale, feel the breath entering your lungs and chest. And as you exhale, let all that is stuck in your lungs and chest, let it flow down and up. All that anxiety, all that fear, your emotions, anger, let it flow down and up. As you breathe in, awareness of your lungs and chest. As you exhale, you let all that is attached there go. All your emotions, much of which is linked to our lungs and chest. Fear, anxiety is usually stored there. As you exhale, let it flow down and up. Down and up your hands and fingers. Down and up your body, your legs to the ground. Inhale positive peace into your chest and lungs. And as you exhale, let your attachments go. Even the good ones, like excitement. Some of us are high-strung. Let it go. Let it flow down and up. Breathe in peace. As you breathe out, let go of all your attachments in your chest and your lungs. Try to maintain the posture calm breath. If you feel you have a lot of attachments here, you can stay here as we move on. I will move on to another part of the body. The next part is our lower abdomen, where our intestines are, our bladder, for the women, the womb. Inhale and breathe in peace into your abdomen. As you exhale, let your attachments flow down and up, down and up your legs to the ground. Those of you who might have growths, cysts, fibroids, or even tumors in your lower abdomen, you can imagine breathing in peace, and as you breathe out, all the attachments that are stored there, your stored emotion, your suppressed emotion, suppressed anger, frustration, fear. Let it flow down and up. Relax and take slow, deep breath. Breathe in peace. As you breathe out, let all your attachments go from your lower abdomen. Let it flow down and up. We are going to move on to the second phase. Imagine now whatever attachment has been gone. We are now going to transition to being a non-stick pen. Imagine as you breathe in to your chest and your chest and lung become like the non-stick pen, and everything just falls out easily. Breathe in non-attachment. And as we breathe out, let go of all your attachment. Breathe in non-attachment to your lungs and chest. As you exhale, let all your attachment flow down and up, down and up, your hands and fingers, down and up, your body, your legs to the ground. Let your lungs and chest become non-attached, like the non-stick pan. And we move on to the lower abdomen. Breathe in non-attachment to your lower abdomen. And as you exhale, let your attachment flow down and up, down and up, your legs to the ground. Breathe in non-attachment to your lower abdomen. As you exhale, let your attachment, your suppressed emotion, go down and up. Breathe in non-attachment. Breathe out attachment. Just take slow, deep breath. Slowly come to your awareness. Slowly come to your awareness. If you're somewhere else, it's time to come back. Slowly come to your senses and be aware of your body once more. Maintain your relaxed exhalation breath until you feel grounded, centered, and present. Present in your body, present in this moment. And when you feel ready, you can open your eyes. And we have some time left for some Q&A. I'll just echo some FAQs, right? Frequently asked questions. This was a very short meditation. I only focus on two parts of the body. So the first part is our lungs and chest. This is where most people store most of their emotions, right? Is normally in the chest and lungs. I can see some of you reacting, all right? So some of you may be more present with your body. You may be more aware of what is stored in your chest and lungs. So this is the first part which I would advise everyone to do, because anxiety, fears, a lot of emotions is all here, right? We experience our emotions normally in our chest, lungs, and a lot of it is stored there. Now the second part which I focused on was the lower abdomen. So the lower abdomen is actually where a lot of suppressed emotions are stored. And you will notice that I mentioned that during the guided meditation earlier. So, and if you connect with your lower abdomen, don't be surprised if some of your suppressed emotions come out. That is the time you need to let go and exhale and let it flow down and out. Now you can do this, you can repeat this process with any part of your body, right? The idea is actually stuff are there at a subtle level, right? The body keeps score, trauma and emotions and suppressed stuff are all stored in the body. And we need to bring our awareness to that part and then let go. And we end it by getting our body to behave like a non-stick pen, right? So try to embody the philosophy, and I guarantee you this, it will change your life. All right. So I'm happy to take any questions. Over to you, Victoria. Oh, sorry, Virginia. My bad.
That's quite all right. Wow, thank you so much. I'm seeing a lot of appreciation in the comments. Just really quickly, I will share my screen to remind people that we do go much deeper into this and other techniques in the course. And there are two tracks to the course. There is the personal practice one, and there is also the one if you want to become a teacher, or if you're a coach or a facilitator and you're already dealing with people and teaching people in a yoga class or a movement class or in your coaching sessions. The links are in the chat. This is the course. It has a live component to help you keep you on track. It has intimate group learning, so you have peer groups, and these are the two tracks that I mentioned. Yeah, the first one is from January till April, and then if you want to get certified to teach, it's from April till July. So you do have it does require time and effort. You have to be putting a few hours each week in. In the site, you can see in more detail what we cover in the course. And Karin and Martin are teaching, and we also have guest teachers. And for those of you who know Daniela, she is making sure that you are well catered for. And I won't say any more about this now to give you time for a little bit of Q&A. I know there was a question about the difference between non-attachment and detachment, but I think you covered that quite extensively. So I'll shut up and give people the power to unmute themselves and ask questions whilst I will stop the recording now so that they can come on camera.